Take one. Hi, I'm Mike and welcome to Guitar. Don't fret about it. Today I want to talk about specific things you should look at when you're purchasing a used or a new guitar. First of all, you have to take in consideration how much you want to spend. So you have to set a budget. 300, 500, 700, 1,000, etc. Now, you don't have to spend $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 for a decent guitar, particularly if you're only starting to learn how to play the guitar. Then you have to look at the size of the guitar that you want. So if the individual you're purchasing for is a child, you don't want to get a large dreadnought like this. You want to pick up a 3/4 size guitar. Plus as well, what type of music are they going to be playing? Is it classical? So if it's classical, they're going to pick up a classical guitar. Classical guitars with nylon strings. You have to make sure that you're going to be purchasing it from a reputable dealer. But if you're going to be getting offline, do not just pay for it online. You should definitely see the guitar and play the guitar before actually purchasing the guitar. So if you're going to go to a reputable dealer and they have used guitars, plus as well they have new guitars, if you have somebody that knows how to play the guitar, definitely ask them to come along with you. So the first thing I usually do is I take the guitar off the shelf, I take a look at it visually, and I see if there's any kind of nicks or any dents or anything in it. On the neck, on the back of the neck, the back of the guitar, the sides, the top, just the overall color of the guitar as well. Keep it in mind, there might be 3 guitars that are identically the same model number. Each one of those guitars will sound different. So then I get into a more in-depth look at the guitar. I take the guitar and I flip it like this, and I take a look at the top, which is the head. I check the head out. Is there any big dents or cracks in the guitar? I check the tuning pegs. If they're all in good working condition, I turn them to see if they're loose, etc. If not, that's fine. I flip it over this way and I put it face down, and I take a look at the back as well. Again, I check the tuning pegs to see if they're loose, if they're in good working condition. Sometimes you might get a guitar, a used guitar, that has holes in the back. In the back, basically what they've done is they've changed the tuning pegs. Then I start to look at the back of the neck. I check the back of the neck. I'll see if there's any major cracks and if there's been any work that's been done. If there's been work that's been done, it's usually glued and you can see a thin line. Personally, I wouldn't purchase the guitar if the guitar neck was cracked and it's been repaired. I look along the sides up here. I ensure that where the neck meets the body, that it's tightly against the body. If it is separated in any one of these pieces along here, the sides, the top, I would certainly not purchase the guitar because it will cost you a lot of money to get that portion fixed. I flip the guitar over. I do the same thing looking at the top of the guitar. I check the frets out, which are these silver pieces. I ensure that there's that they're not sharp on the edges. If they are sharp on the edges, you're going to need some fret work. If the frets are actually dented, scratched, etc., again, you'll need some fret work, which could cost a lot of money. I look at the top piece of the neck, which is the black piece here. Some are white. And I check to see if there's any large gouges that are in the actual neck. If there are, I'd be very cautious on buying the guitar. I check the edges of the guitar, make sure there's no big dents or anything that is cracked on the edge, because again, that's what needs to be repaired, which could again cost money. Another thing that I do is I pick up the guitar and I look down the neck like this. I check the left side, I check the right side. What I'm looking for to see if the neck is actually straight. If the neck is concaved, the strings will be far away from the neck. It'll be very difficult to play, particularly if you're going to be just starting to learn how to play the guitar. If it's convex, again, what's going to happen is the strings will be very close to the neck and you're going to get a tinny sound when you actually play the guitar. So the neck can be straightened, particularly if you bring it to a shop. They will straighten the neck for you. There's a truss rod, etc. inside the neck, and I won't get into too much detail, but that can be done. Fire strings. Strings usually come with the guitar, obviously, with a new guitar, and usually it's probably medium gauge strings. So preferably I like to have light gauge strings, specifically when someone's starting to learn how to play. Light gauge strings are a little easier on your fingers. Then I take a look at the top of the guitar. Again, just a visual look at it. and then I flip it over and I put it face down. And what I do is I take my left hand and I grab the strings and I hold the strings against the neck. I take my finger and I start tapping on the outside of the guitar and work my way into the middle. What I'm actually doing is hearing if there's a difference in the tapping when I'm hitting the actual back of the guitar. If there's a tinny sound, that means that the back is cracked. Not a good idea to pick up the guitar. Then I take the sides. I do the same thing as well all the way around the sides. Plus as well I do the same thing on the top. I start on the outside as I mentioned and work my way into the middle. What I do as well is I check the bridge, which is this black piece here. Now the bridge, you do not want to have the bridge cracked. Plus as well you want to ensure that the bridge is tightly fastened to the body of the guitar. So I take a look at it along the back, along the inside, each end, and this one looks fine. So if it is cracked or it's away from the guitar, then again, that's major work for someone to fix it. Now, as far as sound-wise, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the video, that you should bring somebody with you who knows how to play the guitar. Why I'm saying that is you have the individual sit down, him or her, and they'll play a couple of chords for you. So I would stand about 10 feet away facing the guitar, and what I do is I close my eyes and I listen for the guitar when the person plays it. I should hear each particular string, all 6 strings, as he strums or she strums. Then I move to the left and I move to the right, hearing it either side to see what kind of sound I actually get out of the guitar and if I actually find the guitar pleasing to my ear. Then I ask the individual just do some picking. Nothing major, just so you can hear the clarity of the strings. Again, if the guitar has 3 of the same, as I mentioned earlier, there's 3 of them there, please ensure that you try all 3 because they will sound different. That's the basic overview of looking for an acoustic guitar, either online and as well if you purchase it from a person at their home or you get it from a store. Now with a store, when you go to a store, usually there's a set price, but a lot of the times they throw in a gig bag or they throw in a case. Ask them if they're going to throw in a hard shell case, because a hard shell case certainly is a good idea for protection for your guitar. See if they're going to throw in, or if you want to purchase a tuner, and a tuner actually fastens to the head of the guitar, and it allows you to tune your strings, which is your E, A, D, G, B, E, without doing the old way. You can actually use the tuner and set the tuner up and set it for the specific strings. The other thing I would buy if it's wintertime is a humidifier. Now a humidifier, we like to keep the temperature, or pardon me, the water level in the air between 45 to 50, somewhere around there. So if you're putting your guitar in the case and you have a humidifier, you put it in the case and this protects the guitar from warping. So if you're taking the guitar out somewhere during the winter and you have it in your case, your hard shell case or your soft shell case, and you bring it into the house or where you're jamming or where you're playing, do not take the acoustic guitar out right away and start playing. Give it about 20 minutes, a half an hour while it's sitting in the case to climatize. This way it protects the guitar as well with the drastic change in the temperature. If you're going to be taking lessons, I would be concerned if you want to take lessons at the actual music store, because some of them will try to teach you, sell you the lessons. But I feel that there's so much stuff that's on the net that you can pull down lessons anytime, anywhere, on any kind of type of music that you want to learn how to play. That's available to you. So again, thank you very much. This is Mike and Guitar, and don't fret about it.